The cemetery was silent. Not because they weren't grieving, but because the hero they were burying had no idea he was a hero. 3 days earlier, he had saved several lives. A small wooden casket rested at the front. A folded flag lay across it. His service collar sat on top, scratched and worn, loyal to the end. Police officers stood in perfect formation, but their eyes weren't steady. Beside them, several K9 units shifted uneasily. One let out a soft whine. Another refused to sit. They knew something was wrong. His handler stood closest to the casket, hands clasped behind his back, jaw tight, trying not to fall apart. But this wasn't just a working dog. This was his partner, his shadow, his friend. 3 days earlier, everything had been normal. The morning train was crowded, commuters packed into their seats, children laughing, phones ringing, coffee cups balancing on small tray tables. Routine. The K9 walked calmly down the aisle, nose low, focus sharp. He had done this dozens of times. His handler followed a few steps behind, watching, trusting, because when it came to scent detection, he never missed. Halfway down the second carriage, he stopped. Not slowly, instantly. His body went rigid. His breathing changed. His ears lifted. His handler felt it immediately, that scent. Metal, chemicals, death. Over 200 people were on that train. A little boy slept against his mother's shoulder. An elderly couple held hands. Workers were heading to jobs. Students were heading to exams. Nobody knew they were seconds away from disaster. There was no time for evacuation, no warning, no hero speech. The K9 didn't wait. He didn't hesitate. He grabbed the bag. His handler shouted his name, not as a command, but as a desperate plea. Wait! But the dog was already moving, fast, focused, certain. He sprinted toward the emergency window at the end of the carriage. Passengers began to shout. Someone screamed. His handler ran after him, but he already knew. He wouldn't reach him in time. The K9 jumped onto the seat, smashed through the emergency glass, and in one fluid motion leaped from the moving train. Before we continue, please take a second to like this video and subscribe. It helps us keep telling the stories that shouldn't be forgotten. Seconds later, the explosion ripped through the air behind them. A shockwave rocked the train, glass cracked, and smoke swallowed the tracks. Inside the carriage, screams erupted, followed by confusion, then realization. They were alive. All of them. Because he had taken the blast with him. Back at the cemetery, the handler's shoulders trembled. He hadn't cried at the scene, during the investigation, or even at the medal ceremony. But now, as the casket was lowered, his knees weakened. "I didn't tell you to go," he whispered. The other K9 units were brought forward one by one. One sniffed the casket, then sat perfectly still, refusing to move, as if guarding him one last time. The wind moved softly through the trees. A distant siren echoed far away, life continuing, because of him. Because of a dog who never understood medals, headlines, or the word hero. He understood one thing: protect. That was enough. The folded flag was handed to the handler. His hands shook as he took it and pressed it against his chest. And for the first time, he cried openly. Not like an officer, not like a soldier, but like a man who had just lost his best friend. Somewhere, 200 families went home that night. None of them would ever meet the dog who saved them, but they would live. Heroes don't always wear uniforms. Some wear collars, and sometimes they run toward danger without ever knowing they are running into history. Respect the brave.